Good evening, kids, parents, chess teachers. Welcome back to our lesson on the World Championship between Napo and Ding Liren. Now, this match started. They are playing in the country of Kazakhstan. And in the first game, Napo was white and had a really good position and maybe even a chances to win the game. So let's see what happened. E4. And we have the opening that is called Rey Lopez, or a Spanish game. Right, bishop is attacking the knight and making pressure on the center. Bishop to a4, castling, and now bishop to c6. There are other moves that you can play here, right, like rook e1. But bishop c6 is a kind of delayed exchange line. And now Napo played rook to e1. Right? Knight e7, protecting the pawn on e5, and pawn to d4. Queen d4. Look, it's kind of interesting position. If you are playing e4, right, then you should consider this like bishop c6. You get to this position, and it's very, very cool, right? I'm sure they're going to play more games in this position. Castling, bishop to f4, like beautiful bishop on f4, targeting the pawn on c7. Knight c5, and here Napo decided not to trade the queen, but move the queen to e3. Queen is centralized here, right? It's a nice place for a queen. Bishop to g4, knight d4, knight c3, rook d8, and here Napo played a move knight to f5. Now, there is another move that computer recommended. That's the move h3. And I'll show you because it's a very beautiful line. Like after queen d4, there is a move knight d5. Look at this cool tactics here. Right, knight d5. You are taking the bishop, and now, of course, after the move, you can take with a check, and then you take here, and you are taking two pieces, the knight and the bishop. Very cool what the stockfish found. Like nice move 95. Wow, look at this tactic, beautiful. So that was interesting. That was possible, right? Now 95 is played, bishop 96. I watched Grandmaster Dubov said that bishop f5 was a better move, right? So this is better one than 96. Now knight takes on e7, queen takes on e7, and bishop g3. Well, it is a little bit better for white because there are double pawns here, and the pawn at c7 is always a target, right? But what I really like right now is the way how Nepo played with his pawns. Look at that. He's playing a move f3. So look at the pawn structure. It is limiting the bishop. And then he played h3. Look at that one. Very cool. And then he put the king on h2. So the king is very safe on h2 because it's on the same diagonal like a bishop. But the pawn structure is so nice against this bishop on h5. Right? So let's see now after bishop f7, a3, right? Doesn't allow queen b4 and it's protecting the pawn on b2. 92. Now the idea of 92 move is to trade, right? To go to f4, and then if the knight takes, you can take with queen and attack the pawn on c7. So it is not easy for black to play this position, right? Very hard. Right? Rook d1, rook d1, and rook d8. But now he plays rook d3, right? So now if rook takes on d3, what of course is possible, you can take with both queen d3, even c takes d3, right? Um, so this is a kind of cool move, rook d3 and then queen d2, so doubling up on d5. And this is the moment where Mr. Dingleren made a mistake. He played pawn to c6. And what happens with this move is that those other pawns are quite weak right now, right? And they can be attacked on this diagonal, right? So rook takes, knight has to take, and queen f4. Now look at this. Like, although we have different colored bishops, we have just 3 pieces on the chessboard, right? But still very hard for black in this position. And it is very possible that Grandmaster Napo had a chances to win this game. If you pay attention to my right side, well, what the stockfish is saying, I mean, stockfish on my computer is giving a quite solid advantage to white 1.2, right? Let's see if something is going to change if I press this plus. Wow, even more, 1.3. That means there is a chance that white could win this game. Clearly, the pawn structure for white is better, but I guess under the pressure, the Grandmaster Napo did not figure out yet the winning moves. So let's see what happened here. Bishop d6. It seems so that bishop c7 was a better one, right? In capturing this pawn on a5. Queen d7, knight g3, and here pawn to f4, and that's also the move that probably is making the center quite unstable, right? Better to play c3, so not allow this knight to go to d4, right? Now this move looks quite good, right? But the problem is that the center is really becoming weak here. Maybe not the right move, right time to push the pawn. And here after c3, c4. And now very interesting. Look, black is in a quite passive position, right? Look, this looks great. The queen looks trapped. Double pawns on the board, but still Ding Liren, he figured out the defense here. He wants to trade the queen, and he simply set up this defense, and it's kind of hard to break through. It looks like white is better, like white pieces are so nicely positioned, but how to win this game, right? And queen b8. Finally, they traded, and it seemed to be that from now on, it's quite difficult to make any kind of advantage. The game is probably a draw from here, and they played just a couple of more moves, and the game ended up in a draw. Now, of course, when you have a different colored bishops, it's kind of difficult to win. Here, e6. And we traded, and after this move, knight capture on b2, and that's it, the draw. Right here, the game ended up in a draw. Okay, so what is the most important for us to learn from this game? If you decide to play this opening, right, with black, of course, you have to be ready for this move, bishop c6. And if you like those quiet games, strategical games, then with the white side, you can try to capture here and play the same way like Nep did it, like this move, push, right? You play for a small advantage. Usually that can work very nicely in the games. Right? You can see this in a database. You can practice it a little bit, a couple of games online before you go to the chess tournaments in person, right? My a couple of my favorite strategy was here, I think, and for kids probably the most important to remember. Usually kids they like to push like this, they want to go forward, but my favorite strategy is was this with the pawns, right? H3 and king H2. Like this strategy here is something that you could remember playing against the bishop on H5, and then later on, when you traded all the pieces like the books, right? It doesn't matter that you have the same number of the pawns on the board. You see, there is opportunity still to win the game. Like here, the white is better, although we have the same number of the pawns, because the white is the one that can still attack. The pawns are weak, and there was a chance to win. You know what I would suggest? Take this position and play against the computer, right? Or if you want, you can even play with the black side and ask Stockfish to play. Just click here on this button and play that position, right? And uh, you will see, like if you play with the black side, the computer is gonna win this very easily. Like you don't have a chance. But you try to win with the white side, right? Based on this knowledge that you have right now from this game. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you tomorrow in the game number 2. Right? It is an exciting world championship, and whoever wins this match is going to be a new world champion in chess. Bye bye. Good night.